Hello everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Northwest Quadrant Wealth Management e-News. We appreciate you joining us. So as Josh and I have been saying all along, all the market seems to care about is what is happening with the Federal Reserve and interest rates. Today is certainly proof of that. We have an escalating war in the Middle East between Iran and Israel that is sort of pointing us closer to midnight on the doomsday clock. I don't mean to laugh about it. It is certainly a scary situation. But that historically has created market volatility. It is not today. We have the situation with the longshoreman strike and that potentially being quite inflationary if that goes on too long. And then we obviously in a month have an election where half of this country is going to be upset with the results. All of those things combined today should be creating some volatility in the stock market. And we had a little bit this morning, but nothing to speak of that was that significant. And we're really trading close to the flat line. And so what traders seem to do these days is see what's happening around the world and then immediately think about how that's going to affect interest rates, because that seems to be the only thing that market participants trade on is what is going on with the interest rate environment. And as we know, about 2 weeks ago, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates by 50 basis points or 0.5% on the Fed funds rate. And we know interest rates across the board have come down. So that is one of the things that is certainly going to affect all of your portfolios, the bond side of your portfolios. Yields are coming down and today coming down quite significantly. And that doesn't mean that there's someplace out there in the market where yields aren't coming down. Anything that's safe, interest rates are coming down. And so a lot of you think, well, wait, I can get a 5% yield at my bank. Those are coming down as well. So yields across the spectrum are coming down. Josh and I are a little bit confused when we look at the economic activity here in the United States as to why the Fed needs to be cutting so aggressively, but the Fed doesn't care what Josh and I think. And so, again, all the market seems to be caring about right now is interest rates, but as Josh will comment, we're coming into earnings season, which could be another catalyst for markets moving one way or another.
One additional note on the Federal Reserve. I think that the Federal Open Market Committee, if anything, would argue that the longshoremen and any potential inflation spikes emerging from that are certainly fall within the definition of transitory. We sort of see financial conditions were never really particularly tight. People don't borrow based on the Fed funds rate. It's usually built off the 10-year. But that being the case, financial conditions were never tight. They're now significantly more easy, which just means that to us, the inflation risks continue to remain to the upside. And of course, everything in the meantime will be categorized as transitory when we continue to get that lumpy data. Because remember, the data has been lumpy. One data point does not a trend make. As far as our asset allocation, small caps and mid caps have been doing really well compared to the broader market, especially over the last 3 months. International stocks have fared really positively as well. But again, earnings season's 2 weeks around the corner, and that's when the proof will be in the pudding, and we'll ultimately see how the economy's faring.
So seasonally, this has historically been a very volatile part of the year for markets. Longer term, we're certainly optimistic about owning stocks for sure, but we think that it's probably more than overdue that we have some volatility to the downside. So you should expect that, especially heading into the election here in a month. So remember, investing is not a binary decision where you need to make some dramatic decision. It's time in the market rather than trying to time the market, which is how you'll be successful. So as always, if you have questions about your situation or your account, call our office. The number is 800-743-0988 or email either one of us, Josh or Tyler, at northwestquadrantwealth.com. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks.